This is the plaintiff, Charles Miller. He says he helped the defendant out because they had a mutual friend, and he let her live with him, and the ingrate never gave him a dime. He thinks she wanted to have a romantic relationship so she could live rent-free, but he wasn't interested. After he rebuffed her advances, she moved out, and he's now owed $2,747.09 in rent and damages to his car, which she caused. That's why he's suing. This is the defendant, Gabrielle Bullmash. She says she and the plaintiff dated for 5 years in high school, and he invited her to live with him for a month rent-free while she got settled at her new job. After the month was over, she moved out of his place and moved in with the plaintiff's best friend, his boss. The guy's scorned and is acting out by filing this lawsuit, only because he's upset their relationship didn't work out, and she's now with his friend. She's accused of taking advantage of an old high school flame.
All parties, please get your ready.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff let the defendant live with him, but she wanted a romantic relationship, and when he said no, she left without paying. The defendant says they dated for 5 years before, and he's the one who got jealous. It's the case of, want to hear a bad idea?
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Miller, the two of you know each other from high school?
Yes.
All right, how did you two know each other in high school? Did you date?
We grew up down the street from each other. We dated a bit in high school, yes.
How long did you date?
4 years.
Oh, that's a big chunk.
That was 10 years
That's
ago.
not a bit, especially in high school. That's
Right.
a really long bit. That's all of high school.
It was also about a decade ago.
No, I know. But,
Okay.
but that's all of high school. That's high school lasts 4 years. All right. So how did you guys reconnect, or had you stayed connected?
We hadn't stayed connected, but I reached out to her over Facebook to start being friends again, I guess. And after talking for a few months was when she realized she wanted to move to Florida. I needed a roommate, and that's when we decided to
Okay,
enter
so you
into
live
the
where,
arrangement.
Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, yes.
All right, so you invite her to be your roommate?
Yes.
All right, do you come up with any plan on what the rent would be?
Yes, we had agreed on $450 a month in rent and splitting utilities, and I
Okay.
have proof of that being discussed.
I'd
several
like to
times.
see that.
Yes.
What proof do you have? Is it
I have
through Facebook
messages.
or?
I have messages on Facebook as well as text messages. Unfortunately, and this is my own lack of foresight, I didn't get a lease signed.
Okay, you can stay where you are. Don't approach me. That's why my bailiff is there.
All right, thanks.
He gets all kinds of hanky and nervous and
Yeah,
anxious
no,
when people
I
approach
totally
me.
understand.
Oh my God, I can't read that. That's like 1 point font.
I know, I have a terrible printer. Can't afford a new one.
Okay, let's start with it's upside down. That's how much I can't read it.
Okay.
When does she move in with you? Listen,
August
I know
1st,
you're
yeah.
young. How old are you?
29.
Okay, let me explain to you what judge-friendly font is. It's not 1 point font.
Sorry.
All right, so she moves in with you when?
August 1st.
So what exactly are these? These are messages within Facebook?
So there are messages within Facebook where we discuss the cost of rent being $450 a month, and she says $450 is okay with her, and she can handle it.
Do any of them predate her moving down?
Before her moving down?
Yeah.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, well, how did you two decide what rent would be before moving down?
We decided it over the phone. We had many phone conversations and agreed on $450.
How has this happened on every single case where people tell me, here's the proof
I know.
that we had
That's
the
not
rent?
fair.
I know, it's my fault, and I trusted a friend.
Okay. Well, no,
but
you're
if you look at the
communicating
messages-
through Facebook, and you guys are of a generation that take pictures of the food eats before you do. I mean,
Understood.
everything is in writing, so why
Understood.
isn't that here?
Understood, but every time I bring up the $450, it's not refuted by her. She doesn't say that wasn't
Okay,
what
that's a
rent was.
different level of proof than what I'm saying. I would
Right.
love
I
to.
understand. I would love that
so
level of
just
proof,
say
too.
no, judge, I don't. All
No,
right.
judge, I don't.
So okay. So now she moves in with you on what day?
August 1st.
August 1st, and then what happens?
So she moved out December 1st. I have a written notice and an email
So
from
she
her.
lived with you how long?
She lived with me, rented
The
for
three-
me for the 4 months.
And did she pay rent ever during those 4
Not
months?
once, not a dime.
So why didn't you throw her out the first month?
Because I was trusting a friend. In the conversation, she kept saying, I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to get money to pay you. I'm not trying to screw you over. And I kept saying, there comes a point where I'm going to have to take this to court. After 6 months, they won't let you bring it up in small claims.
How long were you there?
1 month.
When were you there?
August 1st until August 30th or 31st.
And what happened on August 31st?
I moved in with my boyfriend.
Then why does the email say October 1st? The email
What
says she moved
email?
out October 1st.
What email?
Here, I can provide it here.
Judge, may I?
I have an email from her saying on November 7th, she's providing written notice that she'll no longer be renting from me effective December 1st, as she says she hasn't lived there since October 1st. However, I have text
As you are aware, I have not been living at your house since October 1st. This is my written notice that effective December 1st, I won't be paying rent for a residence at which I'm not living.
Right, but then why did you still have the key?
So why
and
does that say that?
The last month that I was there, which according to that would be the second month that I was there, was a slow gradual.
No, that would be August,
I'm sorry.
September, so that'd be 2 full months there, and then you're testifying in what this email says is that you say on November 7th, hey, like you know, I haven't been there all of that last month, so I'm giving you notice now that I'm no longer living there. I presume you had stuff still there.
Correct.
I need you to stop.
Understood.
Between October 1st and November 7th, you still had stuff there.
Yes, I did. I had.
So then that would be 3
valuables.
months that you were staying there. My question to you is, what was the agreement between you guys before you? Where did you come from? You came from somewhere else?
Yeah, yes.
Where?
I came from Maryland.
From Maryland.
Yes.
All right. So before you moved to Florida, what was the agreement between you guys about rent?
Would you ever let a former boyfriend or girlfriend move in with you?
It would depend how desperate they are and how long we dated, but likely no.
Would it depend on anything?
A lot to depend on. This happened to a friend and she did it and it was okay. It worked out okay.
Really? Huh. Okay, I didn't expect to hear that going inside the courtroom.
The agreement was the first 30 days I wouldn't have to pay rent because the agreement in rent amount was never fully agreed upon. And if you go back through those messages.
But what was your plan? You were moving from Maryland to Jacksonville. What did you think was the plan? If you're saying that he gave you the first month free, that would be, by your testimony, that would be August. Well, then what were you supposed to be paying in September and October when September when you were there, October when your stuff was still there?
Well, we hadn't ever fully solidified that. My comments of trying to get him money.
But I do see that you have messages to him in the tiny font in the middle of September talking about rent.
Yes, he was a friend of mine for a very long time. At that point in time, my mindset was whether I particularly agreed with it or not, I was trying to save what was left of the friendship. I did try to make or give him small increments of money to keep the peace.
Did you pay him a penny?
No.
Okay, but can you explain to me what you think you do owe? Because it sounds like you're saying that you think you do owe some rent. What is it you're saying?
I truthfully don't remember. So if that is what I said in writing, then that's what I'll stand by.
When did you start dating his boss and best friend?
I'm sorry. The end of.
You both thought it was funny, so apparently I'm not hurting anyone. Go ahead.
The end of August.
Okay. When did you move in with his boss and best friend?
The end of August.
Okay. When did she move in with your boss and best friend?
So she started staying at his place more often, and I spoke with both her and the friend, and they both confirmed with me that they weren't sure, but that it would be maybe temporary. So she was still leaving her stuff in my place and still kept the key. I have a text message.
From when? Since when?
Since early October.
Early October.
Early
Not
October.
August, like she's saying.
Not August, no.
Okay. So did you have a problem with her dating your boss and
No,
best friend?
I'm the one that set them up.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then how is he a man scorned if he set you up?
I don't seem very scorned, huh?
That was a.
Well, according to you, she also crashed your car?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
She backed her car into the stone wall of the friend.
She backed your car?
My car. For the
Into
first,
what?
For the first, a small stone gate that's in the front of the boyfriend's house.
Okay. Did that happen?
Yes, to an extent.
What does that mean?
It's a stone, a ditch cover. It's not a gate it's very small. And I did bump into it. At the time, the boyfriend is very car savvy. The rear reflector had popped off of it. Right then and there, we had offered to go and get a new one and replace it right there in the driveway. The plaintiff said that to not worry about it.
Is that a picture of the damage?
Yes. That's the rear fender being pushed out. There's the impact point where the reflector was. And I got a quote from a reputable shop.
Can I see the quote?
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing for $1,800 in rent from August to December. Did you ever say to her that the first month would be on you?
No, we had discussed various different things, but when we finally
Yeah, and all
agreed-
those things that you discussed, none of them are in writing.
Correct.
The only writing I have is afterwards where you're saying $450 or $400, whatever you can afford,
Right.
but something. And that isn't until September 17th.
Yes.
Okay. And then Where do I see anything about her agreeing to pay for utilities separate from that?
I don't have that listed.
Do you have another roommate now?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I live with my current girlfriend.
And why are you also charging December? I thought that email said...
I'm not charging December. I'm charging
That's
August.
what your complaint says, August through December rent.
I have a spreadsheet here of all the
Okay, let me
money
see your
I
spreadsheet.
have August, September, October, November. That's just 4 months,
Okay.
which totals to $1,800 at $450 a month.
Okay. Do you have any proof that you were told that you could skate on the first month's rent?
I do not.
I'm finding in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,800 in rent as well as the car damage. I don't see any evidence anywhere that she's supposed to pay utilities separately. That
Understood.
total is $2,467.12.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, the plaintiff has convinced the judge, and you're on the hook. $2,400. What you think?
That's her ruling. That's her ruling.
Your move from Maryland to Florida, lots of changes real quick, right?
Yes, sir.
You started dating his boss
I did.
and moved in almost right away?
I did.
And look at you now,
Yep. Living the dream.
living the dream. All right, well, good luck with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm going to sign some documents. All right, Mr. Miller, good for you. You convinced the judge. She decided
convinced her of the
quickly.
truth, yes.
Yeah, she really did. Okay. What have you learned from all of this?
To get a lease agreement and I guess not be so generous with friends.
Okay. Do you have a lease agreement between the two of you?
No,
You don't
guess
need
I
it,
haven't
huh?
learned my lesson yet, have I?
All right. Congratulations.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Harvey?
This is a really good idea, Doug, on how important it is to memorialize the deal you make with a roommate. Find out what rent you pay, utilities, food, everything else. Get it in writing.